Hello again there, viewer. Brian here at 3TR, and I'm here to give you my official review of Bioshock Infinite. Now, in terms of story, you play as the character Booker, who is sent to Columbia by some people in order to retrieve a girl named Elizabeth, bring her back to New York in order to wipe your debt. Now, in difference of the first character from Bioshock 1, as you actually had to go to a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean and take a sub down to Rapture, you are taking a rocket ship up to Columbia. And when you get to Columbia for the first time, you really are, for I'd say the next first 15, 20 minutes, just walking around exploring Columbia, just seeing how beautiful it is to see a cloud city. And really how different it is from cities that are, you know, on the ground and on Earth. And until you get to a certain point in the exploration part of the game, you're just walking around, and then you get to a certain point in the game where you make a general mistake or a discovery is made, and then all hell breaks loose, and from that point on you are on a roller coaster ride of tons of shooting, tons of swinging around on your skyhook thing on these little roller coaster rails, and really learning a lot about Elizabeth and just seeing exactly why the main villain of this game has locked her away and what makes her so special. Why is she able to do the things that she does? Now, in terms of gameplay, it is a bit more restricting than I would say the original two Bioshocks, because you're limited to only carrying 2 guns, which, you know, you can obviously upgrade over time through these little venting machine things that are throughout the whole game. And in this game, instead of plasmids, you're actually using things called Vigors, which have the same function as plasmids. Although I have to say that a couple of the designers' choices in terms of Vigors, I didn't particularly enjoy all that much, and they really didn't have their uses. The enemies in this game are also a lot more uniquer than the enemies that you would run through in Rapture, especially the Handyman. The Handyman is probably a lot tougher on any difficulty than any Big Daddy you will ever encounter between Bioshocks 1 and 2. And you're basically taking on humanoid enemies, officers, and just a machine army, which is massive and even has its own form of airships in order to take you out and do some real devastating damage. An element that was also added to the gameplay is the addition of Elizabeth as a co-op partner. Now, the good thing you don't have to worry about is you don't have to babysit her like most AIs that have their own, you know, health bar, and they generally do stupid things in order to get themselves killed or have you restart to the last checkpoint. But Elizabeth is used as an AI partner to aid you in battle because she has the ability to open up tears and other worlds to bring items or weapons in order to aid you in your fight throughout the game. She also can pick up health packs, money, ammunition, different types of guns, and she will actually throw them to you at a distance with a really cool animation every time that never gets boring. And if I'm happy to say, she was clearly the single most helpful AI I've ever had to play with. And the last thing I'll talk about is the overall design of Columbia itself. There are multiple sections throughout the game which show you a different side of Columbia. You actually, the higher you up are in the city, you'll actually see a much more beautiful, majestic side of Columbia. And as you venture down to the slums, you really get to see the poverty and the suffering of the people of Columbia, the outcasts. And that really pulls on some of your heartstrings, and it makes you really feel like you really want to help these people out any way you can. So that's kind of adds in terms of gameplay to a story element. So I give mass respects to the designers of Columbia because it truly was one of the most unique gaming worlds I ever had the experience of venturing into and learning about. And with that, it sounds like Bioshock Infinite was the perfect game. I mean, it got all the elements right. It had a great story, it had a unique gameplay, which stands out amongst other shooters, and it had the emotional tide of making you feel like you were in a real world that had actual consequences, and you got to see both the good and positives of it, right? Well, unfortunately, I have to state this right now because it's unavoidable, that I really hated the ending to Bioshock Infinite, and in a sense, it kind of ruined the overall gaming experience for me in a whole. Now, I promised a friend I was not going to talk about the ending in this video, and I'm going to save that for a discussion topic, which I will be uploading tomorrow. So, to simply give Bioshock Infinite a rating, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's certainly a must-own for any fans of stories in video games, and it is certainly one of the better shooters that I've played this gen. Even better than, in terms of gameplay, however, than the original two Bioshocks. It's a must-own, in my opinion. So if you like this game review, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track for my future movie and video game reviews. And please join me tomorrow to watch my discussion video where I talk about my problems with the ending. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.